All right, this is my daily update for my build and public log. It's April 14th, 2025. I have a nice demo to show. I made a lot more progress this weekend on what I'm gonna call full launch ready. So I've done kind of a soft launch for AgentsCode, my AI agent API service. And the feedback has been crickets. I mean, there's been like no feedback. It sucks. Um, so that tells me I'm not getting in front of enough people, or I'm just building shit nobody wants. And that's possible. That is very possible. But I suspect people just aren't seeing it, and the thing is just not fully ready and fleshed out because I'm building things that I know people pay for. And it's like, well, people are paying for this elsewhere. Surely I am building something somebody wants. People just don't know about it. That's my hypothesis. So I need to get a little further along on making this like fully launch ready. Um, and hopefully I can prove out that hypothesis. This is kind of in a work in progress state, so forgive some ugly, weird styling issues. All right, let's jump into it. So I'm building the documentation because, well, to try out the thing, you gotta sign up, create a free account, you get free credits, and you gotta actually know how to run the damn thing. So I want to make the documentation as easy and user friendly as possible. That is the difference between being successful or not. If you're trying to build an API service, obviously the documentation is very important. You know, part of Stripe's success was they just had like insane first in class. They had excellent documentation. That that is really why developers took to it. Really dialed down the documentation. It's okay for the very first launch if it kind of is so-so, but I'm putting a lot of thought and care into it. So this is where you actually go to make the API calls. Authentication, you have to get an API key. Pretty straightforward. Goes in the header when you make requests. Pretty straightforward. I've experimented a lot on this, where you can try and make the request right from the documentation. I'm a huge fan of that. I thought about like setting this up so people can have their token right in there, but decided not to. See, I don't. So I firstly just put this right into the page, and I thought that was pretty clean. But then I was like, well, what about like the other things? And then I want one from N8N, so you could just copy the nodes and like put it into your. I don't know. I'm going back and forth on this, but at first I had just this loaded, and then I added all of this, and I'm not loving it. I think I might kill it and redo this a bit. Let me get back to this. First, let's do like a real demo. I'm going to make an API key. This will be invalidated right after this. So, all right. So you make an API key and you come right into here, and you can see. Look at this. It's so horrible embedded in this thing. It was so much better outside of this like fake terminal tab thing. Okay, so you can make the API calls right from the documentation. You can go see what agents exist. Oh, I need to fix that. Oh, damn it. As I said, this is not really fully launched and this is a work in progress. You see like what you expect the response to be. Now you can actually kick off an agent right from the documentation. Go to the headers, put this in there, and this will kick off a real agent. It's pretty cool. Let's get this. Let's go down here. Variables. My worry is like this is gonna be too confusing for people. But this is kind of like what I'm getting at. I just want you to be able to do it right from here. And ta-da, there is your data for the agent. You just ran an agent right from the documentation. Um, I liked it better before. I'm not liking this. But see, look at I broke the styling. Uh, I added a new endpoint to get your balance so you can see. I'm just not going to show that, but it basically looks like this. You can see your runs in the history. So I did a lot of work this weekend. I'm going to revert these styling changes because I hate them. Um, but this is what I meant when so the other day I talked about this. I was like, okay, I was like, for the documentation, I want you to be able to run it straight from the documentation. So I don't know. I need to give it a little bit more thought. This, like I said before, this was outside of here and I didn't even have this. But I love this. I want you to be able to do the same thing. I want you to be able to, like, if you use no code, I want you to be able to just copy this. That's what I've been working on. I'm really serious about having like amazing documentation. I want you to be able to run the agents right from the documentation. I want you to just drop in your API key, be able to see, your free credits. I want you to be able to do all the things right from here. I want you to be able to copy and paste some code, drop it into your product or project, and be off and running in just like seriously minutes. As you can see, it's a work in progress. I just broke everything with all the styling changes. But anyways, that's the update. I'm pretty excited. Let's see if there's any questions or comments. First, let me do this, or I will forget. Um, no questions or comments today. Fair enough. What do you think? You let me know in the comments? Do you think companies want to drop in like one level agent that does something like very, very useful, very dialed in, very like high quality, constantly getting better? Or do companies just want someone to come in and just do all their automation for them? Get like the whole complete package. I don't know. I think there's a mix, to be honest with you. My hypothesis is small companies want someone to come in and just do all the automation, especially for like sales and things that will truly drive revenue and profit. And then my sneaking suspicion is other companies want very specific agents that do like very specific things and want to just pull it right into their product. I suspect there's both, and I think the market for both is going to grow. That's my hypothesis. I don't want to do an agency. You can make a lot of money at agencies. I'm working for an agency right now. I've worked at agencies in the past that just did like totally bespoke software. Like we'd come in, what do you need? Like show us your Jira board and we'll start working on tickets. That's mostly what I've done in that capacity. And I know the people who ran the agencies made a lot of money, but I don't want that. I want the agencies to use my agent to go work and implement at another company. So I need to talk to like AI agency owners, I think is who I need to target for outreach and ask them like, what agents do you find yourself building a lot? If there was one that you could just drop in with a few lines of code and run in their product and like you charge them and then, I charge you. I don't know. I would prefer to do that. That's what I'm aiming for. But let me know in the comments if you have any opinions or thoughts on that. I'd love to hear it. On to my random story for today. I was sitting here earlier today. I had a weird like notification sound on my phone. I was like, what the fuck is that? And I picked it up. It's like earthquake down in Southern California. Now it's weird because there's been a lot of really big earthquakes lately. Really unusual. There was just the one in like Myanmar, Thailand. I actually talked about that like a week ago in another video and my experience in Mexico City with really, really big, scary earthquakes. And that scared the hell out of me because I'm like, okay, from where that earthquake happened, maybe like 6 to 8 hour drive away. So I'm pretty far away. I was a little kid when the big earthquake in LA happened in the 90s. I was a little kid. It was called the 1994 North Ridge earthquake, and I remember this as a little kid because because I was actually born and raised in Southern California, like right at the edge of Southern California. And the only reason we can claim that we lived in Southern California was we got the where we lived, we got the Disneyland Southern California discount. So if you got that discount, you were kind of still considered to be in Southern California. I'm not making this up. Anyway, so I we were like 2 hours away from this. My mom felt this earthquake, and she said there was this like ceramic. I like fell asleep in the living room or something like this that night or something weird. There was this ceramic thing like on the wall above my head. She said it almost fell on my head and almost like really could have hurt me. I just got lucky. My mom said she felt aftershocks. I have family who lived in LA back when this happened, and they said it was so crazy and scary. And the scariest part is, um, yeah, this overpass. Like, there's a lot of these in Southern California. One collapsed, a bunch of people died. That my family said it was so terrifying. I did not feel it. I was asleep, so sound asleep. But I remember the house I grew up when I was a real little kid. After this earthquake, there was a big crack, like on one of the walls, just the like right up. There wasn't like permanent damage. It was kind of more like the outer shell, but that fucking thing like cracked in half from this earthquake. There was no damage other than that, and it was kind of more of a. It wasn't like a structural. It was more like a kind of cosmetic damage. Um, but this is scary shit because this earthquake really did some damage. I mean, how many people died? You know, I don't know if this is for, yeah. I mean, luckily it was, this little. It could have been like hundreds or something. But this caused a lot of damage. It was very scary. Yeah, I think this is the one my mom felt. I think that's the one that my mom's. But it's very scary to have earthquakes this strong down there. This is very serious. It can cause a lot of damage. So when I saw that, I went, "Holy shit!" Like, wow. And I talked to somebody in LA because the agency I'm working for, they're LA based. I asked one of them there. I was like, "Are you okay? Like, how was the earthquake?" He said, "I didn't feel it. Nothing here. I think it was more San Diego." So pretty weird, pretty strange. There's so many big earthquakes lately. Weird. I hope it's not like. I hope there's not like a really big one coming, like hardcore, 8.0 kind of crazy big. But this was in a weird location I've never seen before, or don't remember ever seeing one. So that's pretty weird. So, anyways, hopefully, hopefully everyone's okay and there's no like destruction from the one today. I don't know. I didn't read the news yet. But so strange. I was just talking about this, and it just seems to keep happening. So, anyways, that's all I got for today. See you tomorrow.